Howdy, all Moglax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. I apparently have managed to stay in this hole until it was nighttime. I'm gonna get a little bit more here. I guess I got actually a lot of coal. No, you know what? I'm looking pretty good on supplies. I'm gonna head back to my base and get this stuff cranking into gunpowder. Eh. And then I've got to see about getting some brass because I don't have supplies thanks to the big old attack. Yeah, I feel like this is the only thing I've been playing lately. I really I mean recording. I don't know. The last couple weeks I have been such a slacker. We hit that time of year where it's yard work season, right? And so I've been out putting in the yard work, and by the time I get done putting in 4 or 5 hours in the yard every weekend, I just I really only have 1 or maybe 2 afternoons. All right, my base does not extend to here anymore. 1 or 2 afternoons where I have time to do the yard work, and then my Sundays have basically been deleted for free time. Which is a day I used to record, and now I don't have time to record. Again, so I mean, it's me. It's not. I have time to record. Of course, I have time to record. I just don't record. Okay, there we go. That's nice. Why don't you hold on to the coal? Actually, you know what? Why don't I just leave the coal in the chemical reactor here? What are you called? Chemistry station. Chemistry station. That's what it's called. The Kermurmur. Okay, and then you can have all this lead. Ooh, look at all that stone to turn into cement. Nice. Okay. Alright, and then so I've got no food, but I have my food supplies because I did manage to save that. So we're good there. What do I need? I need corn, potatoes, meat, fat, water. That's I think that's all oh, I also need those. Right. Can I have one of these? And then I need a cooking. Why can't I make a cooking pot? Oh, because I didn't put my advanced bellows in there? No, I got advanced bellows in there. I must need an anvil. I don't have an anvil in here. I can't do an anvil because I have no iron. Oh, I've got no iron. That's a problem. That is a problem. I spent all my iron on rebar. And I didn't finish getting the actual bits and bobs I need for my base. You know that tower right over there would probably be some decent amounts of iron. Maybe I can head over there and grab that. So let me put down a bed. Yeah, I've been pushing pretty hard in Final Fantasy, which eats up a lot of my free time. Oh, yeah. And I think this should be save. This is where I spawn and fall off and die. And some of that stuff, because it's an MMO, takes hours to accomplish. So I was working on some of that over the weekend, but I did want to talk about some of the things that I have watched this weekend. I think I talked about Jupiter's Legacy already, which I thought was okay. I finished Shadow and Bone. That was pretty good. I rather enjoyed that one. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I did read some criticism of the books. I was thinking about getting the books because it's based off a book series, and people were complaining that the main character doesn't actually do anything in the series, and so they didn't like that. It's a young adult book, so I was hesitant to buy it anyways. I tend to like my fiction to be, large amounts. And I found myself not completing a lot of young adult fiction I start to read. Oh, there we go. I couldn't remember how this worked. But I did watch on Saturday and Sunday. I did watch through Invincible. Now, it's not deep, for sure. And it does remind me a lot of some other shows, but spoilers, for sure. I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. So Invincible is about this kid who whose father's a superhero, and then he gets his superpowers when he's 17. And so it's about him, sort of him coming into his it's sort of about I want to say him coming into his superpowers, but he doesn't really do that. He just gets them and they're there. Sure, there's a little bit of I gotta train to learn how to use these, but it's not it's not really a major part of the story. Um, it's more about um, how being a superhero affects ow, your relationships, um, especially if you can't tell the person that you're a superhero, and uh, and so it was pretty interesting. It's not it's not Umbrella Academy, okay? I think Umbrella Academy is really a really good. It's not the Misfits. Oh shoot, that tower done fall on me and killed me. Misfits is one of my favorite superhero shows. Um, but I did find it to be pretty good. The there's a twist in the first episode that I didn't see coming, and I wasn't like kind of thing, um, but I was like, oh, okay, okay, and uh, it's such a major spoiler, so major spoiler. But his dad's evil, and nobody knows it. And this is where I feel like it takes from other shows. His dad is basically a Super Saiyan. He is sent from his home planet uh, to single-handedly ready a planet for invasion by his people. Um, they're all superhumans, and um, and so they talk about in the show how they had like a big civil war, and they fought each other until less than half of them were left. Um, and the half that won decided that the only thing that can exist in the universe is the Viltrumite Empire. Uh, Now they're not genocidal. They do keep the conquered races around, but they are under the control of the Viltrumite Empire. And so, oh shoot, I thought that thing was dead. And so, the um, so they expanded so fast because they're so powerful that they reached a point where they don't have enough people to expand using their main military force. And so they decide to send out their best soldiers, one per planet, and then they are to prepare that planet for induction into the Viltrumite Empire. And so that's what's going on with his father. Is he's basically Raditz, right? Raditz shows up in Dragon Ball Z to destroy. I guess technically Goku showed up in Dragon Ball Z, but or in Dragon Ball to destroy, um, to prepare Earth for invasion, sale, whatever. But in Dragon Ball Z, if you know anything about Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, I guess the main character's name is Goku, uh, and he comes from a race called the Saiyans. He's sent to Earth to as a they send their children out as babies to a planet, and then they destroy like everything on the planet, and then they just come along and collect wiped free of whatever was on the planet, and then sell it to the highest bidder. And well, when Goku got there, he hit his head and lost his memories. Um, it's not a deep show, okay? Dragon Ball is not. It's a animated fighting show. There's a lot more caught up in tournaments than there is any kind of storyline. Um, but it was funny to me that they have the same kind of premise, right? Uh, yeah, I really thought those things would fall. They're just kind of hanging out there. And so yeah, so that's what's going on with his father. Ow! I thought that was a rock, and I stepped right on it. And so but his father's hiding it, and so in the first episode, right, he kills all the main superhero team because he's agitated because his son has now grown superpowers. Because what happened was he came to Earth, and they explain it in the show, but the deal is that Viltrumites live for thousands of years, and so he's on Earth. I mean, the kid is 17, so if you live thousands of years, 17 years isn't too long, and so he decides to take a little vacation, and hook up with the natives, I guess, and then has a son, and then he was just kind of hanging out, waiting to see if the kid developed superpowers or not, and he didn't think the kid was going to develop superpowers because it was so long. I mean, the kid's 17, and Viltrumites gain their powers when they hit puberty, and so his kid is, like 3 to 5 years later than he expected, and so he's just vacation mode. Well, then when the kid develops powers, he realizes he hasn't trained the kid to be a Viltrumite, and so he starts trying to teach the kid to what's the kid's name? Mark. Starts trying to train Mark to yeah, to not think of people as people anymore. And there's some other stuff going on. There's some relationships. He kind of joins a team of younger superheroes. There's some interesting stuff with a character named Robot. And who gets put in charge of the replacement team for the team that he killed. How much do I need to make an anvil? I need 1120 iron to make an anvil. Wow. I don't have a spare one, right? No, I don't see any anvil. I don't see any anvils in there. I've got a spare advanced bellows. But that's not what I'm looking for. And it gets to the point where it's an adult cartoon, and they do have some. There's a lot of language in it, but there's not anything else really. It's at most it gets a little soap opera risque, but it doesn't go beyond that. But yeah, they have some relationship issues with couple of the superheroes, and but I did find Robot. His character, it was interesting, and they got some funny lines in there and stuff. I need to fix this. Wow. Um, but they do have a point in there where Mark and his father. I don't remember what his father's name is. Omni Man. Uh, it's Omni Man, and then the kid's name is Invincible. Oh, they have this cool secret government organization that works with the superheroes, and it was really funny to me. I do have a thing I wanna say from the Omni Man stuff, but I'm kind of holding off on that. So, but they do have this character on the show. His name is Donald, I think, and Donald looks like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. And so I was like, oh, look, now I know what happened to Bobby Hill. He grew up and joined a secret government organization. Uh, and then he died. Because they done killed him. And so yeah, that was pretty funny that character looked just like him on there. All right, I'm gonna put this stuff back because I don't have the need for it at the moment. But yes, they had this interesting moment between Omni Man and his kid, where the kid is like, "What about my mother?" And Omni Man is like, "She's like a pet to me," you know. I was like, "Oh." Um, Interestingly, I decided to go ahead and read the wiki on the comic book series, so I could see where this show was headed, um, and it surprisingly seems that it's mostly about Robot and Monster Girl. Um, the series seems to go that way, even though it's called Invincible. I mean, maybe it's not, but from what I was reading, it's really a lot about the uh, Robot. He's actually a person, um, but he's got a small, deformed, mutated body, and so he operates via robot drones that everyone thinks is him, and he's super super smart. And so in the show he clones himself and into a better body, and then downloads his mind into that body, so that he can please Monster Girl, I guess. And um, but it looked to me like, from what I was reading, that the oh yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that said 500 and something. It did. It's just gonna take a long time. From what I was reading, the a lot of the story has to do with jeez. One of these days, I'm gonna learn how this game works, and I'm gonna stop smashing up my rebar frames. Oh, you know what? I need to make sure to get uh, Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to make sure to get that. Um, I didn't know. But yeah, it's they meet these aliens called the Fluxians, and the Fluxians operate from another dimension where time is faster. And so in the show, they do a lot with them showing up, and um, eventually they figure out how to overcome Earth's um, time difference, and so they get pushed back though by Omni-Man, and then Omni-Man goes through and basically wipes them out as a species. It really looked like, but when I was reading through what happens in the comics, um, they Monster Girl and Robot wind up going through at some point, fighting them, and try to take over to stop the invasions, and they get captured, but they're both immortal at that point. Uh, and so, um, after a long time, I think they said 700 years. It took them 700 years in that other dimension, but they managed to free themselves and take over and come back. And so uh, there's a lot that goes down with Robot and Monster Girl. Um, I mean, I'm sure there must be a lot in there about Invincible too. I was just surprised at how much was about Robot and Monster Girl. She's called Monster Girl because she turns into a monster, and when she comes back, its regenerative powers shrink her. Shrink? No. Reduce her age every time she comes back, and so she's like 25, but she looks like she's 14. And every time she comes back, she gets younger. They talked about that on the show because Robot wanted to run multiple training simulations. I don't remember what goes into these farming blocks, farm plots. Oh, nitrate powder is the other one, which I don't think I have any of because I used it all to make gunpowder. Oh, I have 14. And I need... Oh, apparently I didn't grab it. I need 12. Oh, right, I need the anvil because I need the anvil to make the cooking pot, and then I also need the grill. I can do a cooking grill now. Well, I think this is probably a good spot to call it for today. We'll see if I can keep my slacker self on task this week. I was really bad last week. To be fair, I did go get my second COVID shot, and that did eat up most of my morning, afternoon on Tuesday, and work has been busy. Um, I don't think I've had a week where we're not working on extra projects since February. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down much. So that also has eaten into my free time, which I'm struggling to balance at the moment, I guess. All right, with that, beware the small things, lean to the light. I will talk to you later.